Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think you have to allow that.
Yeah. There we go. Done.
All right,
Yeah. So here's my little studio. Tiny
fantastic.
little, tiny little
Yeah, but
studio.
it fits your press in it.
It
Oh,
fits
you've
my
got an old one in
press.
the corner too.
Oh
A new
yeah, I've got a
one.
book press. Yes, I've got
Hmm.
a book press over there to do my notebooks and artist books and things like that. Plus, I've also got the same press as this one, but it just does A4
Oh,
prints.
like a table press,
That's yes, yeah, yeah. So
not quite
that's
as
what I
big as
started
that.
with.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's what I
And then you,
started with, and it was such a good press that I bought the bigger version. That's the biggest one that they make, which is the full 56 by 76 sheet size.
oh,
So
yeah, yep,
yeah,
cool.
I could fit a full sheet on it. So
So
yeah.
I have, could you tell me a little bit about yourself and how you became an artist?
Oh yes, okay, I can do that. So I have always had come from a design background. So after school, well, my rewind way back, I actually applied to go to art college after school. I wanted to go to Brisbane Art College. But I was only 16 and they said, no, go and work on a prawn trawler for a year. We don't want kids without any life experience come back.
Yeah.
I never
And
did.
but back then
Um,
that's the way they did it back then, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yeah, yeah. And so my second and third choices on my QTAC application were landscape architecture
Hmm.
and town planning. And town planning was basically exactly the same course as landscape architecture, except that it was about three subjects difference. So anyway, didn't quite get enough TE score to get into landscape architecture, so I did town planning with a view to upgrading. So I actually did my degree in town planning and my graduate diploma in landscape architecture, and so I worked as an urban designer for 9 years. So that's my first design background.
Did you enjoy it? You would have enjoyed that because you did it for 9 years, I presume.
I did enjoy it. I worked 3 years in private practice. So I worked with a surveying and town planning company, and so I worked on master planning for big residential estates and things like that. So that's where that focus was as an urban designer. It was more master planning residential estate work, basically. Working out where the parks go and where the roads go and
Yeah.
how the roads all and pathways funnel people to public transport and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So
So the
anyway, I quite enjoyed that, and I was doing that while I was doing my graduate diploma. And then when I moved to Tasmania, we went down there once we'd finished. I actually met my husband in O Week, so we did our degree together. Yeah, and then once we'd finished, we both did graduate diplomas, but his was in planning and mine was in landscape architecture. Once we'd finished that, we went to Tasmania and I worked in the urban design department at the council there.
oh
And
yeah.
I loved my first, so I did that for 6 years, and I loved my first 3 years, had a fantastic manager. Didn't like my second 3 years so much because he'd moved on to something else. And um, I got bogged down with fighting with councillors and traffic engineers and civil
Bureaucrats.
engineers,
Yeah.
and it was, yeah, it was a bit horrible. So, and there was nowhere else for me to go. So I'd been umming and ahhing for a while and decided I was really interested in how my plans looked, and I had to do lots of community consultation. So I made newsletters and stuff, and I was really interested in how they looked, probably more interested in my actual job as an urban designer. So I decided I'd go back to study graphic
So
design.
the printing of pamphlets got you into the printing of
That
what you're
got
doing
me
now.
into graphic design to start with.
So,
So then, yeah.
um, how would you describe your art to somebody that's not familiar with it? Like, because you've gone from
Okay.
being there
A
in
designer, yeah,
designer into becoming a,
into becoming an art. So
yeah.
I guess I didn't ever actually um, practice art for myself ever. I was always doing all this design for everybody else and meeting all of their needs and things. And then um, when we were up in Early Beach, because after Tasmania, we went to Early Beach, the very first original artwork that we purchased that was a work on paper, because we'd had paintings that we bought in Tassie, but this work on paper was some etchings by Glenn Skeen, and he's a printmaker who was actually in my assignment that I've just done for curatorial management. Anyway, so we decided we really quite liked printmaking as a medium to start collecting in our own
Hmm.
collection. And then when we moved to Yeppoon a couple of years later, I bought a woodblock print from Michelle Kershaw, who was a printmaker there, and she was doing um, printmaking workshops at the local TAFE, so or short courses. They were 8 weeks, eight
Oh
week
yeah.
blocks, and you
Yep,
just
yep.
go for 3 hours a week for 8 weeks. And that's how I first got into it because she said, "Oh, I'm doing something, doing this thing, and do you want to do it?" And I'm like, "Yes, please," because I had little kids at the time, and I was like,
Gives
"Oh,
you a
I'll
break.
escape from the house for 3 hours a week." So that's how I got into it. But yeah, from a design background. So for years my artwork was probably more like the dog that I'm doing now. Pretty lino cuts were mostly
Oh
what I
yeah.
was doing.
Yep.
Things that look a bit more commercial. I've bought some stuff in.
Oh,
I
cool.
don't actually have that much work in the house because it's
So
mostly sold. So
so
this is a lino print,
yep.
and it's printed onto it's a fine Japanese paper, like a yellow ochre.
Oh
And this
yeah.
is inspired by trips that we did out to Central Australia. So it was when we were at Devil's Marbles. So I don't know if you can see that. So it's not a
So that sort of
representation.
runs me into my next question. What themes or ideas constantly appear in your work? And
Yeah.
it appears
So
that that's part of it,
yeah.
isn't
So
it?
I started doing more. So yeah, like start off with, I did pretty little things, cute little things, put that back up. Um, but then I started to bring the Australian landscape into my works, not pure representation, but bits of it
Mm-hmm.
through color and interesting forms and stuff like that. And then in 2019, we got some funding to do a show that was related to this book that I was working on as a graphic designer, which was the early history of Rockhampton, and it was just a republishing of it. But the guy that's the publisher, he was also the president of a local arts group, and so he got us some funding, and a group of five of us did some work that was to be inspired by the stories in this, and so it was all about Rockhampton. So from
Oh yeah.
there, I
Sorry, I thought I
yeah.
wasn't recording it.
Oh, no, no, you're right.
I'm like, I just had a moment where I went, "Oh, am I recording this?" Sorry.
Yeah,
Keep going.
so from there, that's when I really started to getting into working with the landscape, actually materials from the landscape. And so I guess my work is fairly experimental.
Hmm.
I don't do printmaking traditionally. I like to do, there's certainly some elements of traditional printmaking in there, but I like to mix it up a bit. So with that one, like I was talking to you about the other day, I actually started doing things like mono printing with mud. So
Yeah,
I'm going to see if I can.
so you've already answered a couple of questions here about where do you get ideas from, where they
Yeah,
begin.
yeah,
And it's more
yeah. So
like what I'm hearing is that you get your ideas from the landscape around you. So when you look
yeah,
outside, you see um a a grass paddock or a riverbed, and you can go, oh, that color, I'd like to bring that color into that paper. And how can I
yeah,
actually um, put that into that without adding mud to the wall, sort of thing. Um,
Yeah.
so
I'm just trying to add my other phone to Zoom. Can you see if there's a thing that says let me in?
yes, I will admit you. All
There
right.
we go.
There we go.
Be- Yeah, cool.
So
Because
you can, yeah, you've got the other one
it's
on mute.
easier to, how do I add that?
To use the phone to show me. Yeah.
Yeah,
So what
I
do you
have to
hope
just turn
viewers,
it around.
so with your
Anyway,
prints, what do you
so
hope?
I'm just going to show you.
Oh, cool.
This is this is one of those things that I did. Oh God, this is really echoey. I'm just going to turn that volume down.
That's it. You've turned the sound off with the other one.
Yeah. Okay. So this is one of those works that I did, which was the mud. So
Oh, okay,
I did
cool.
mono printing with the mud.
Mm.
And in this, so this is also an artist book.
Yeah, I
So
was going to
remember
ask, is
how we're
that an
doing
artist
artist
book?
books? Yeah, this is what you would consider an artist book. So it's not just a book form, but this is actually lots of little book forms, and I'll read you what it's called. Um, it's just really heavy, so that's why I brought this over. It's called The Big One, 604 millimeters in 96 hours. So
Oh,
on,
so that
yeah,
represents the
so
flood. Oh, that's
so
cool.
there's 96 little books, and they reach to a height of 640 millimeters.
So that's how
So
high the flood went.
that's how high that's how much rain there was, I think. Um, yeah, so blah blah blah. The following 96 hours saw rainfalls of 604 millimeters. So
Wow.
that's the and there's a whole bunch of stuff
Yeah.
in the book or
So
in a news article.
you had that one on display at the gallery, did you? Was
So
that?
yeah, this has been that's been on show at the Rockhampton Art Gallery, and it was also a finalist in the Libris Art Awards up at Mackay.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so it's traveled around a bit, but I like this one, and so I'm glad it hasn't sold because I keep
So
it
you've,
in my house.
what's the round one you've got next to it? What's that?
So okay, so that's um just trying to get in. So
Oh,
this
yeah.
is um and I
I
don't know
can,
if you can really see it.
yeah, I can see it on the iPhone. Oh,
Yeah,
wow. They're
so
little dots, or
it's
is that bubbles?
yeah, so that's actually pierced. The paper is pierced.
Oh,
So I've flipped it over and pierced it. So what I did with that and this one here, and these are the last two that I've got. Can you
mm-hmm.
see that?
Yeah.
So these are actually cyanotype prints. So
Cyanotype.
normally a cyanotype is like that, blue and white.
Yep. Okay.
And it's a very old photographic process. I'll see if I can find some more. Um, and you expose it to the sun. In this example here, I've
Oh, yep. Yep.
oh there, that's easier. I'll turn that one off now. Oh no, I won't. I'll just leave it there because we might look at other stuff. So
Yeah.
in this example, I've actually been up in the tree and had this behind some leaves. So some leaves were here,
Yeah.
and where the sun shines on it, it goes blue after you've processed it in water, but where the sun shadow is, stays
It stays
white.
white. That's so
Yeah, so
cool.
that's more like a traditional kind of
So is that
cyanotype,
what you
except
do?
that I've done this up in the tree. And on this one, I've done it actually in the wheat field. And then on
Wow.
this one here, so this is another artist book, but
Oh, yeah.
it's like it's in an old drawer that washed up on the beach. but you can see in the
Mm.
background
It looks like
that is cyanotype paper that I've coated the paper and then I've actually pressed it into the sand at the beach.
oh,
Same with
brilliant.
this one here. So this is paper that's been pressed into the sand at the beach, and then I've just folded it and it's in a jar that's got
That's
some
so cool.
little bits of
I love
sand
the
and bits and
creative
pieces from
bit, the
from
way that
the
you've
from the beach.
used it in a
Yeah, and
different
then
way than just on a like
yeah,
you've put it in a drawer and you've put it in a bowl. People would
but
love
they're
that.
all connecting it to the place.
Mm.
All the things that I do connect it to the place. And so these are the same cyanotype paper, but I've laid it down on the beach at low tide when the water's just very gently lapping across, and it's just sort of washed over the paper and it's made the marks. So you can see
Oh,
like all
that's
those
why it looks
marks are
so
where the tide water has sort of just washed over it. And
wow.
then the dots on that are to kind of look like the
The
foam that
what?
floats
Yeah.
on the, yeah. So that's what that's all about. And
No, I love it. I think it's so
why it's
good.
not blue and white is because this particular one, I threw a little bit of washing soda over it, and the washing soda kind of bleaches the blue and turns it a
Mm.
yellow. And so then it kind of also blends with the blue and becomes green. So
It
it's
gives it a
gone that
much,
really deep sea green kind
it
of
looks more like the
color.
ocean, doesn't it? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and the yellow of the golden sand. So that's one way that I like to use cyanotype to
So
um,
your
work
ideas
with
basically
nature.
come, yeah, your ideas come from nature,
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
they? At the end of the
yeah.
day.
So that's right. And I like to work with the materials from nature. So then,
So,
say for
so a
instance,
question was about how do you describe your studio and why it works for your practice? I mean, my question, my idea is that your studio is not just where you are right
not
now, but it's
just, yeah,
outside, isn't it?
it's not just these four walls, it's
No,
whatever is outside as well. So yeah, I
but
do
that
work
what you
outside a
have in
lot.
your four walls, does that work for you?
That
Is that
that
a
allows me to um, print on my press, because I can't do that outside. I mean, I can take a press out with me, but it's easier to do it inside because we're working the paper out in
have
the,
you
like
ever
on the beach.
tried
This paper is
pressing
terrible.
under rocks, like flat rocks? I don't know, it
No,
just
I
popped in my
haven't.
head.
No, no, no. But
You know,
something that I would like to do is actually take some fabric because I've just recently started working with textiles. So way
oh,
back when we lived in Tasmania at night time, it was cold and dark early, and I used to fall asleep on the couch all the time. And so instead of falling asleep on the couch, I would do like hand stitching, which
oh
I
yeah,
really loved, but I never did it in an artistic way. I'd buy a packet of something from Spotlight and just, you know, follow the pattern and turn it into a cushion or give it to mum or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And but I loved doing it. And so just recently I've started turning back to hand stitching, which I'm doing a
Oh
lot of at the
yes.
moment.
So is that your printing and then your hand stitching around it?
So this is an eco print.
Yeah,
So this bit here is all eco print. So
yeah.
that's using one of the trees from out in the backyard here,
Mm-hmm.
and wrapping that up in some paper and boiling it, and the color comes out of the leaves with the tannin, and it reacts with the iron that I put into the water.
Mm-hmm.
Then this little bit here, that's actually fabric that has been dyed with the eucalyptus leaves, but it's got a copper mordant. So it's
Oh
gone
yeah.
yellowy brown, and then it's been lino printed over the top. And I've got a big lino print, like it's twice the size of that press. And it's just the canopy of the tree, that same tree. And it's really highly detailed, and it took 6 days to carve. Um,
So do you use
but
bits of
I
that instead of the
and
whole
I've used
thing?
bits of, yeah, so I've used, that's just a sliver of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this bit of fabric is actually the same. iron mordant, but it's just done as a dye on the fabric.
Oh, yeah.
So that, yeah, so that's so I've done traditional printmaking over very experimental, or not experimental, but
So what is
natural
it going to be?
dyes
What is
on
that going to turn
textiles.
into?
So it will turn into, it'll be something like this, which will be,
Oh,
this is just
yes.
a mock, this is just me
Yeah.
folding it over the canvas,
Yeah.
but these are bits of fabric all folded over, and it'll be all stitched as well
And it tells its own
and
story.
framed. Yeah, and framed, and then it'll be, just a wall piece. So that's just ones that I'm working on at the moment, but you can see,
I can
I'll
see
do
the
this
one you've got
again.
in the one
So,
hanging.
oh,
Yeah.
what have I done? I've turned around.
That's all right. Just turn it
How do
round
I
so it
change that? That
should
way.
be a,
Yeah, so
that's all right.
that
And so
is
that's a
one
similar type of, yeah.
same sort of thing, but
Yep.
I have
Put it on a nice bit of
made it as a
driftwood.
wall hanging on a piece of branch from the same tree. That was a piece that I very quickly had to pull together for an assignment
Oh,
because we
yeah.
had to write about our work. And then this piece here is another similar one that was in the Fair Home Art Prize just recently as a finalist piece. So it's quite a big piece
Yeah.
and it's on paper. And so it's talking about, well, all of these really are talking about, see how they've all been chopped up and recomposed. And
Yep.
that's sort of talking about, that's me linking it back to the landscape that I live in, not just through the materiality, using the trees to dye the paper and to print on the paper, but also because it's a agricultural landscape and it's pretty well these days
Yeah.
a human made landscape
Yep. Yep.
because it's the whole landscape's been interfered with and it's very fragmented. And so this was actually called fragmented landscapes.
When I look at that, when
And
you explain that to me, I can see what you, as soon as you said that it
yeah,
was part of the landscape, I could see the agricultural,
yeah,
the
through the
blocks,
colours and the, yeah, yeah,
and I
yeah,
think that really represents that area very well.
yeah. So that's one body of work that I've been working on at the moment, and there's a whole show out at Miles with five of us in it, and a lot of my work out there is reflective of this kind of work that I've
Oh,
been
yeah.
doing, this the stitching work and this kind of work, but combining it with the lino print of there's one of my lino prints. So that's where
Oh,
I've
yeah.
just used. So that's quite an oversized eucalyptus flower. So that turns up um
I actually really like that.
in that turns up right
In
there.
there, yeah.
So
So
see
you've got
how
it in there, yeah.
and then that bit is the can part of the canopy
So you've
in
added
lino
it all
print, and
together.
then they're the
Right.
eco prints. So there's I'm just sort of combining different print mediums to tell
So are
the
you
story.
stitching that all together?
So that's all
That-
stitched together, yeah.
Yeah.
And so
So
is this. This one's all
stitched as
stitched
well.
together.
Yep, I thought so.
But then I'm also so you can see all the hand
Yeah,
stitching on
beautiful.
that.
Yeah.
So, because this one is actually for the Western Downs Regional Art Show, and the theme is rituals and revelry. And so, one of the rituals of life is sitting down for a few hours every day doing some hand stitching.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because
I'm
one of
doing
my
that
questions
plus.
are there any daily routines or rituals that help you begin working?
Yeah, so
You know.
that's one of the things. I mean, the first thing I do in the morning is get up and have my cup of tea and sit down and flick through some, beautiful art books or even just country style magazines that might have inspiring things in them, or get onto Instagram and just have a look at, you know, and it might be that I'm looking at ceramics, but it's still all inspiring
Gives you
for
that.
the work
Oh,
that I
yeah.
do
Great.
because it just might be the words that people say or something like that that might give me the idea of, oh, okay. So, another one that I've got here, which I did, this was in a show last year. So this would have been a framed piece on the wall, and it's a
Mm-hmm.
lino print. So I do a lot of lino print works
Yep.
um, that then printed on, this was eucalyptus dyed paper as well.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So this was for a show called Wildflowering by Design. And so they encouraged us to have original artworks, but then turn them into a design object. So it's trying to encourage artists to think about other ways of getting your work out there, not just fine art, because not everybody can afford, this framed would have been probably $700.
Yeah.
So not everyone can afford that. But what I did was abstract that design to a really simple lino print that I then converted into little note
Oh.
hand bound and made
And
printed
people, yeah, and
notebooks, which is
that
$20. And then I did,
then people can afford that. Oh, I like the
can you
light.
see that? So then I also
Yeah,
printed that same onto linen to make a lampshade.
that's brilliant.
So this was
So you
all
bring
about
inside, outside, excuse me, outside,
inside.
inside. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. So that was another option. There's one of my lino blocks. Can you see that? So that's
Yes,
that big flower.
that's a lot of work.
So that um, the very original one that I had, this actually extended further down here, but I didn't really like that leaf. I chopped it off. But
Okay.
it was actually on a giant print, like the
Oh,
same
really?
size as that big, or
It
bigger than
wasn't
that big
bad.
print. It was actually over two pieces of paper.
Wow.
Same with and it sat right next to the canopy, which was also on two pieces of paper. So they were both quite
So you do a
large
lot of large
pieces.
stuff, but you also do
Yeah, I
small
quite
stuff.
like to
So,
do some big things, but also do some small things. And I
so
do
sort
like
of,
to do artist books as well, but I haven't done any for ages. So
well, you're doing one now.
yes, how will we?
Yes, we are doing one now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
so um, with so I sort of the question of why did you choose printmaking as your primary medium? I sort of got that answer at the beginning
Right at
from
the beginning, yeah.
yeah.
So
So
that
we
was
got that
because of
answer.
that
What
workshop that
printmaking
I got
techniques do
into.
you use the most? And you've sort of given me that already. The
Yeah,
monogram.
so there'd be probably four primary printmaking techniques that I work with.
Yep.
And it varies depending on what the exhibition is or the theme is that I have to respond to. So there'd be lino print, and I love lino printing. I love the, meditative carving of lino.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it
Um,
myself. So
yeah. Then there's colograph prints, or well, lino printing and woodcut. So same thing, but
yep,
it's
yep.
just on plywood instead of lino. It's just harder on your hands and harder on your tools. Then there's also collagraphs, and collagraphs are essentially basically making a collage of some sort out of different materials, as long
Oh,
as it's really flat. And then you rub the ink in and wipe the ink off, just like you do with the etching that we did at uni.
oh, yep.
So
Okay.
it's an
Yep.
intaglio form of printmaking. Oh, you
Hmm.
can do it as a relief print, but generally I do it as an intaglio print, and then run it through the press. And so that would give me. I like to use it like I've done here, and I don't know if I can
I
get
can
a
see
better
it.
shot.
Oh, we're running out of time.
Oh, yeah.
Hang
Okay.
on. It says running out. Stay
So,
connected to what matters most. Wants me to upgrade today.
we can click the link again.
Yeah.
So this is a holograph print I've actually put black soil from the earth onto a plate and then inked it and printed it onto the paper. So
Cool.
this is one of from my agricultural body of works. Um,
I actually
and
like how you've done
it's,
that. I really do like how you've got
yeah,
the
so
wheat
how this
fields.
one's, yeah, so we've got the wheat fields have been done by cyanotype
Mm-hmm.
at both ends. This is a bit of lino cut, and so that's like the
The
rows,
rows. Mm-hmm.
um, just kind of representing. the even the stubble almost, because I really
Hmm.
like the stubble that's left behind after it's been harvested. This is more like an aerial view with the rows in the
Hmm.
ground. And this is actually the texture of the earth.
Hmm.
So this one kind of covers a few of my different techniques. So we've got cyanotype, lino cut and woodblock, collograph, and then eco printing is what all these ones that have got the leaf prints in. So I
Yeah.
really love eco printing as well. So they're
So,
probably the four
yeah.
main print techniques that I use. Yeah,
So do you do unexpected outcomes or happy accidents become part of your process?
absolutely.
Well, I knew the answer would be
Absolutely.
yes because it's because of the type of thing you work with, the
Yes,
leaves and the
and I'll
trees.
show you. This is an example of one of my amazing, and like all my friends think it's amazing anyway, happy accidents. So I had
Oh, I love that.
pieces of rusty metal soaking in vinegar for um to go into my dye pot for eco printing and dyeing, right? Because you use iron water to put into your pot to get, and that's what gets all of this color, this
Oh,
brown
yeah,
color
yeah. Now
out
I
of it,
understand.
right? So you make the rusty vinegar water,
Hmm.
and then I had it sitting in a pot, except I'd left it sitting there for about 3 weeks, and it had sort of fermented, and all of the rust was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it had all this foam all over the top of it, just in a saucepan outside. And I went, "Oh, I'm gonna tip that over some paper and see what happens." And
I love
this is what
it.
I got out of it. And so this is like this again, a happy
Happy
accident. I
accident.
mean, how gorgeous is this? And I just sat these bits of paper in my big tray, my big soaking tray
I
for,
love
I don't
it.
know, a couple of days. And this is what I got out of it. So that's like a really exciting happy
That's
accident. But there's
and
all sorts of
that's
happy accidents.
you're actually experimenting all the time
Yeah. Yeah.
because of the type of different
Yeah.
printmaking forms you do. You're always
Yeah, particularly with the eco printing and cyanotype, because they're a little bit alternative. They're not traditional kind of things.
yeah.
That's where you get these really like the alchemy kind of comes into play, all the different mixing different chemicals and different leaves, like different species, and putting different sort of chemicals into
We've
the
got
mordant
six
and stuff
minutes
like that.
remaining. Do you want to
Okay,
close it
yep,
and then reopen?
we can do that. Yep,
Yeah. And that way
okay.
we won't because we've only got 6 minutes and I've still got a
Yeah, and
couple of
don't forget to press record again. So
yeah,
yeah,
well,
okay.
I'll just stop the recording. Stop
Yep.
recording. Oh, I'll pause the can I no, I'll just stop it, yeah.